Hello and thank you for joining me. Today we're going to be taking a look at the high gear Vanguard Nightfall 6 tent. The Vanguard 6 tent is a 6-man family tent available from Go Outdoors, Blacks, Millets or any of that family of shops. It's a steel pole tent, which makes it a little bit different from the air and the fiberglass pole tents we've looked at already on this channel. It's not the most popular choice of tent, but steel pole tents definitely have their advantages. The tent layout is that there is a large living area at the front of the tent, with a large front door and a side door on the right side of the tent, with the bedrooms being situated at the back of the tent. Having a look at the side door here, you can see there is a small porch that goes over the top to offer some protection if you were coming in and it was raining. The door consists of two parts, the outer weatherproof sheet and then the mesh sheet as well. So you can have the door open but have some sort of wind and airflow through the tent without letting bugs in, which I think is always a great feature. The poles are these really chunky steel poles. As I said, it's not the most popular choice steel poles, but they really do offer some good benefits. This tent with its steel poles will be very, very strong, especially compared to a fiberglass pole tent, and it will stay solid in some very high winds. The chunky steel poles make this a heavier package than the equivalent fiberglass pole tent. Looking at a tent of an equivalent size, you're going to be looking at an extra sort of 10 kilos for having steel poles rather than fiberglass, but then the benefits are that it is much stronger, and you're still going to be looking at a smaller pack size than you would for an equivalent air tent. So total weight of this packed up is 38.8 kilograms, and coming in at a pack size of 80 centimeters by 50 by 42 centimeters. The main entrance to the tent is at the front, and it's this large zip door which we can go through to go into the main living area of the tent. As you can see in here, this living area is extremely large for a 6-man tent. There's a lot of space in here, and with all the windows it's also extremely light. I'd been filming before this inside a Berghaus Air 600 tent with sort of end-to-end bedrooms, and it was much darker than in this one. The front door has the mesh and the waterproof layer, so you can obviously have the main waterproof layer open and still have some airflow in with the outlet and all the bugs in. Plenty of venting on this tent. There's one at the back behind the bedrooms, and also at the sides here are these vents that you can use to help lower the amount of condensation in the tent. As you can see, the side door here has some little straps at the top, so when you do unzip it you can strap it up out the way, much like the front door is at the moment. Down here you'll find the electricity hookup point access, which you can put your electricity cable through, and there's also one of those at the other side of the tent, so depending where the hookup is, you've got options to bring your electricity in the tent. All of the windows in this tent that make it so light and airy have curtains. These strap up at the bottom when not in use, so you can obviously have them closed in the evenings or at night if you want some more privacy, then open them up in the mornings when you want that view out. Really handy to have these on every single window in the tent. Moving on to the bedrooms, they have this storage area between the two of them. These little pouches where you can store things. I find these really handy when you're away on longer trips, especially just to help keep the tent floor a bit tidier. Especially when you have kids, these are really handy to store their bits and bobs in. This is the larger of the two bedrooms. This is capable of sleeping 4 people in it. We have similar sized bedrooms in our Hampton 8 tent, and we use 2 120 centimeter wide air beds which fit in this bedroom nicely. There's a vent at the back which again helps with condensation. And then if we look down to the side of the bedroom, you can see that there's a handy little storage pocket. We have these in the Hampton 8 tent, similar as well, and they're really handy for putting sort of keys and phones in at night when you're going to sleep. The smaller of the two bedrooms, again you'd fit 2 people in here using a 120 centimeter wide airbed. See, it does look a little bit small in here, but it will sleep 2 people, and there is this zip that you can open to open the 2 bedrooms up to each other. There is this little lip at the bottom, so you would struggle to put a mattress over the top of that if you were sort of planning to put one in the middle, so that's something you couldn't do. Again, there's a storage pocket in this one as well, which I find really handy, and a vent at the back. The bedrooms are made of this black Nightfall material, which from personal experience is great and makes a big difference in the mornings. It makes the rooms a lot darker than they would be using normal material. It's not perfect, it will let some sunlight in, but it's certainly better than a standard bedroom, and you will get a little bit more sleep on those long summer mornings. There is a hook in the middle of the ceiling for hanging up a light, and also the bedrooms have these colour-coded straps, so it makes it a lot easier to put them in, you can't get it wrong. I think that's about it for this tent. One thing that I would mention is that although this has got a huge living area, as you can see, the one thing that it doesn't have is a porch area. You can buy a separate porch for this, but in my experience I just find it much easier to put the tent up in sort of one go rather than two separate bits. So I think it would be nice if this did have a built-in porch, but at least there is the option to put one on for somewhere to do your cooking and things, because with such a large living area and so much space, this is obviously meant for longer trips, and I think if you're going on a longer trip you really do need a porch. Just something to consider. So with its steel poles and a hydrostatic head rating of 6,000, which is better than other high gear tents, this tent really is one that can withstand the worst of the British weather, at least in summer. If you found this video useful and watched to this point, please do subscribe to the channel. It makes a massive difference, really helps me out and will cost you nothing. Drop the video a like and feel free to ask me any questions about this tent in the comments. Thank you very much for watching and happy camping.